This video is sponsored by Skillshare. Have you ever gotten done shooting video with your Lumix camera, went to the computer to edit, you pull up the files, look at them, and you're like, what is this? What was I thinking? What was I doing? You basically ruined your video footage because you didn't have your settings right. Maybe they were a little overexposed, a little too grainy, or maybe you didn't frame them up right. In this video, I want to show you how to set up the Panasonic S9 with the settings I use to get professional and cinematic video every time you go out and shoot. This will give you a mistake-free template that you can just copy over to your S9. And if you're new here, my name is Caleb, and I've been doing professional video production with Lumix cameras since the GH4. And I want to help you master your Lumix cameras. If that's something you're interested in, make sure you hit that subscribe button. So here's the settings I use for mistake-free video on the Lumix S9. Now, to get the most out of your S9 color science, you'll want to shoot in the Vlog color profile. This is a flat profile, but it's going to provide the highest dynamic range of 14 stops. And for video, that's what you're going to want. And make sure that you're not losing data in your highlights or your shadows for a really balanced shot. And I'll get into more about how to measure that exposure here in a bit. But since it's a flat profile, it's kind of hard to see. So you're gonna wanna set up a monitoring LUT. And for that, you just go to the cogwheel and go to Log View Assist. And with a monitoring LUT, you're gonna get a better look at how your actual shot will look. So you can choose the Panasonic Rec 709 Convert LUT to monitor, or choose a creative look to get a better understanding of what your finished product will be. And in the description, I have a link to my pack of LUTs for Vlog that you can download for free and use those. And now I'm ready to view my Vlog image with a monitoring LUT. If you're shooting for quick turnaround, you can use the real-time LUT feature, which is found in my photo style, and switch over to real-time LUT. That's going to bake in the creative LUT to your image, so it basically eliminates the color grading step while editing. But for the most flexible shot, you're going to want to use Vlog. To get the best performance from Vlog, you're going to want to make sure that you take full advantage of the dual native ISO setting. This means the S9 has a low ISO frequency of 640 and a high ISO frequency of 4000. At ISO 640 and 4000, you do not introduce any new noise to the image that might happen at other ISO levels. For example, in everyday well-lit scenarios, I'll keep ISO at 640, but in low-light situations, I switch the ISO to 4000, and I will get the same clean image at both levels. I set up a shortcut to toggle between the different ISO settings, low and high, because those are the only two ISO settings that I use. The best way to measure exposure while shooting in Vlog is to actually use the waveform. The waveform will give you an exposure readout of your whole image. So you use this tool to make sure your highlights are not too hot and your shadows are not too low to the point where you're losing information in your image. Now, if you're filming a person, their face exposure will most likely be around the mid-range on the waveform, and you can use a gray card to really dial it in. Make sure you go check out my exposure tools video popping up top to get a better feel on how to use this waveform feature. Now, if you're looking for a really quick way to measure exposure, you might want to turn on the Lumix Spot Meter. This is a little box that you can move around your screen to get exposure readings. Now, to really dial this in, make sure you go check out that exposure tool, and I go over all of the Lumix Spot Meter details. Now, the S9 has a ton of pro-level record quality settings. For the best color depth, you're going to want to shoot at a 10-bit 422 option. For smaller files but still great color, there are 10-bit 420 options to choose from. The S9 has Cinema 4K or DCI shoot options, base 4K, and plenty of full HD options. If you're shooting for multiple formats and video platforms, you might want to shoot in the 6K open gate setting, which gives you full sensor readout and full vertical and horizontal resolutions. Now, you might want to take this video footage that you shoot with the Lumix S9 and become a master editor and build a business around it. And for that, you're going to need Skillshare. Skillshare definitely makes it easy to learn, and one of the best parts is that the platform is designed by creatives for creatives. Personally, I always resonate more learning from people who speak my creative language, especially when it comes to video editing. Find video editing classes that are on demand with stackable lessons. Both beginner and advanced classes are available. Maybe you have the creative part down but want to turn that skill into a business. There are classes about marketing yourself and running Google or Meta ads that could help grow the business side of your creativity. Skillshare is the largest online community for creatives. The first 500 people to use my link in the description will receive a 1-month free trial of Skillshare. hit that link, get started with Skillshare, and grow as a creative. All right, so I went over some of the main features you'll want to take advantage of in the S9 to make sure you get the best possible video footage, but I want to show you a few more settings that the S9 has that I think are crucial when it comes to shooting video. Straight out of the box, the S9 is going to have record limits on, meaning that you can only record up to 10 minutes or 15 minutes on certain shoot settings. I'd recommend turning the record limit off. And it's going to give you a warning that the S9 might overheat, but in everything that I've done, I've not had any issues with the S9 overheating. The next thing you're going to want to do, especially if you're shooting in the 6K open gate setting, is turn on frame markers. And so what you can do is set up to 3 different frames. You can set a vertical frame, 9:16. You can set a 16:9 frame for horizontal, and then also set a 1x1 frame. And what that's going to do is give you a layout on your screen like this, so you can kind of use these guidelines to frame up your shot. From there, just go to the next page and you're going to want to turn on the red record frame indicator. And what that's going to do is when you go to record on your main screen here, hit record, it's going to put a red frame around your screen so that you know 100% you are recording. If you don't turn that on, it's only a little dot that shows up in the corner and it's really easy to miss. Turn that red record frame on so that you know you are definitely recording. I've been using the Lumix S9 for a while now, and if you want to see how it fits into my personal workflow, check out this video that's popping up right here. Let me know in the comments what settings you use that I don't have in this video. And don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.